Hello, hello, welcome everybody.
What's up? Long time no see.
Yeah, so we got another edition of Kevin Learns.
That's right.
How'd you do?
4-0.
Nice. I expected it.
That's right.
I predicted this. You're gonna be the bamboozler of Bombay eventually.
That's what they call me. I've heard people say that many times.
Here you're playing Mehdi from Iran.
Rare
Right.
Iranian player.
Wait, so did I get that right? You got 3 black games?
I suppose so. I wasn't paying attention
That's
to
so
that.
unlucky. So even with 3 black games,
I got too powerful.
Yeah.
They're trying to hold me back.
Yeah. Okay, knight c6. What should you do here?
Push the bishop.
It was whenever you see this knight here.
Get the bishop out.
Yeah.
I realized that I did it like 2 moves too late.
Yeah.
I eventually realized what I should have done, and luckily, if this is the game I think it is, he let me do it.
Nice. Yeah, I guess he's not that experienced in the bird.
What a shot.
That's what I would assume. Yeah, no, technically you're a bit worse here because the idea is that they're playing super aggressive. This is the most aggressive setup that they can play from d5. The idea is that they're playing for an extremely quick e5. Remember what we talked about? Whenever you push f4, you have some weaknesses here. So what they would do here is takes an e5.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. Imagine if your bishop were here. You could just snack on the e5 pawn then because of the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He played d4 though. h3, bishop f5. Nice. Yeah, you're doing perfect now. This pawn is just weakening all of his squares. When he puts his bishop on a square like this, he's committing to making the trade. So, in this type of position, when he doesn't have the light squared bishop, he should be placing all of his pawns on light squares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're doing well. Bishop f5. Uh-oh. Why'd you rupture the structure?
Because it was free money. No, it wasn't free money. I know what I was thinking.
It's definitely not free money.
I guess I was just scared. As
All right.
usual. I'm a nervous boy.
So your main rationale here was fear. Unbridled fear.
That's correct.
Damn. Yeah, this is a little complicated. I guess you could play g4 here. In general, though, go for the pin.
Yeah, I didn't know. That's such a simple rule that I just didn't listen to. But that's like my go-to.
Yeah.
That's the cornerstone of the bird.
It's nice, though, that you did follow the main rule, though, which is never resign. You
Correct.
gave me a sneak peek at what is to come about. And, yeah, I'm very happy to hear that you did not resign. They could take here, and actually this would be a little uncomfortable if they trade queens. So what do you think the best move would be in this position?
Well, first take with the knight.
You could take. You don't have to though. Taking would be fine, but in general though, it's better. You know, you don't need to execute this chop immediately here, especially because with their d pawn off the board, the game is a lot more open. The
Okay.
bishops are mattering a bit more. It's not that this is a bad chop, but we might not. Be
So D3.
d4.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, we're just gonna take. We got a big center.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so you ruptured the structure. Try not to rupture the structure next time. You could have gotten into a lot of trouble. D3 is the best move. If you rupture the structure, you gotta just put a band-aid on it and put the pawn to D3. But the idea here is that for now they're not pushing E5, but if eventually they could open up the E file, you would be much worse
Yeah, it makes sense.
because all of these squares are just really weak. Like you would much rather have your pawn be back on F2.
Yeah, at this point I could feel that it was not good.
It's not the end of the world though. Takes, queen d4. So your rook is being attacked, but you could attack their rook in a counterattack.
Attack their rook or queen.
Well, if you attack their queen, they're just going to eat your rook.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Attack their rook. So yeah, just queen b7.
Yeah. You didn't want to get snacking?
No. I wanted to protect my pieces.
But if they take, you take with check. And if they go here, you continue to snack. You continue to feast.
That's true.
And if, like, they go here, you take, they take, what's the best move in this position?
King d2.
No.
Uh,
Look for the ultimate snack. The ultimate fancy feast. Look for the royal platter.
Then I'm thinking, can you just trap the queen?
No.
Oh, then checkmate. Then just checkmate. I was looking at the wrong area of the board.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you were too focused on the trinkets and you missed the grand platter.
That's true.
Okay. What is this?
Yeah. I think this happens in 2 games where I get multiple free queens in this episode.
Oh my dear.
I was a happy boy.
Yeah, you gotta get to 1400, man. Like, I'm happy with your rating gains, but if 1150s are playing this way,
That's worse than what we saw at like 1000.
yeah, I don't know what that is, but I'm not gonna complain though.
Me neither.
Whatever it takes to get you through. G4, check. He's trapping another piece. Now the bishop has to go back this way. Right? He had to just retreat the bishop this way.
He's in big trouble.
Check here. Takes. Okay, good. You took. Bishop G2. Dude, you're playing like a GM. Here. Yeah, you're going to break through. It's okay if you lose the bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Here, bishop A3. Rook C1. Okay, fine. Nice. Takes. How are you going to respond to this? You are, of course, completely winning because you're up a queen. But, wait, let me just check this sound for a second. Yeah, everything should be good. I think everything is good here.
Yeah, I mean, I just adjusted it before for my thing, so it sounded fine.
Nice. Was it on the same? Yeah, it was on the same. Sorry. I was just making sure that
No problem.
It was on minus 2.8.
So for that, I think I was planning on essentially giving up the knight. I could see what else I could do.
Well, you gotta think more then.
Okay.
Yeah. Just look for any way. Can you buffer the bishop for a second just to create a healthier form of defense?
Well, I'm thinking D4 bound.
Bishop takes and then what? What's the difference there? Is this pawn on the board anymore?
No. Oh, I see.
So your queen is defending it.
That is a good tactic.
Yeah. It's a nice trick. They call that the Leningrad Tango.
I've heard that.
Knight D2, bishop D6, bishop E2. Nice, so you got your... Oh, I thought you were going to get his mango. I think you got too focused on the mango here. You should be able to play for checkmate here. Just throw this b-pawn up the board. Maybe right now the bishop will take, so kick the bishop out first with a free tempo. Notice this is normally like the classic golden square in the bird.
Mm-hmm.
Because your knight here would be obstructing everything. Bishop C7 and B4. There's just no way for him to deal with this. If he plays A6, how can you continue to crunch through?
Just throw the A-pawn?
Yeah, exactly. This is over. Like knight E7, B5. You're already just going to deliver some type of mate here. He's going to have to start running and start just dropping pieces. Nice. All right, so you played G5, E5, takes, King H3. I mean, that's a fine move, but you have something much better here.
So maybe something involving check. Let me look.
Well, you're afraid of this, and that's completely reasonable to be afraid of that. But
knight to E4.
Yeah, then you're just attacking the bishop, and you're essentially accomplishing the same thing with a much more activity.
Yeah.
If bishop C7, just literally trap his pieces here with queen F7.
Plus, with my move, he did end up. I saw it was coming, so it wasn't close. But he had the opportunity to my king was starting to get claustrophobic. You know, when he pushes the H pawn.
You should be completely winning no matter what here.
I know, and I was, so I moved him. I remember saying I gave him the opportunity to make me mess up.
Yeah. Okay, check. You're still doing fine here. Just put the knight on E4. That secures this diagonal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if this pawn doesn't have any friends. Like, remember that when they're isolated pawns, that also means isolated squares.
Yeah.
That means you have strong outposts right in front of them. No pawn can ever dig this knight out. Do you remember? What do you call this square?
It's an outpost.
Good.
It's not a treehouse.
I was trying to trick you. Yeah, I was hoping you
not.
would say treehouse, and I was going to say psych.
Not today.
Nice. Okay, so takes here. He could have tried to bamboozle you with this. What were you going to do there?
Thinking. I mean, there's no choice, right? But to just move up. Move away.
No, if you move up, you're in a lot of trouble.
I mean, move down.
No, you can take. You're getting a rook. You're only losing a bishop. It was a trick question.
I even do that in the game. I just get so wrapped up in. I think it's a trick question. I thought that exact thought in the game.
Yeah, you gotta just.
There's too many trick questions.
Yeah, you gotta just calculate for yourself, even if it seems like it's blatantly obvious. If it seems blatantly obvious and you double check it and it is blatantly obvious, just go with it then.
Yeah.
All right, so rook h4, you snacked, nice. Knight e4, perfect. You took, you checked. There should be a mate here somewhere. Check. Okay, you kept snacking. That's fine. All right, this is all good. Here, nice, a skewer. Fantastic. Let's click on the game review. Thanks to Scotty D for the
Shout outs
platinum
to
member.
Scotty D.
Yeah, he owns the finest tractor company in Eastern Canada.
You're gonna be surprised that wasn't even the worst queen blunder that we're gonna see during this episode.
Really,
or at least it's tied. Because that's not the game I told you about where I blundered a bishop.
All right, we'll
come back.
Yeah, we'll wait on that game review. All right, so D4, C6. Nice. This is your first queen pawn.
This might be, this is the
Oh
one.
my!
I win this game. No, I warned you ahead of time. There was one big oopsie daisy.
Yeah, all right. I assume that's going to be the last time you ever do that.
Yeah.
You have to do it once and then you get it out of your system.
Yeah.
You're going to know from now on you have to check if the bishop is protected.
The general blunders are under control, but sometimes I still like to party.
E6, bishop D6. You're actually very close to trapping his queen here. H6, and he just gave up.
Yep.
If he takes here, what are you going to do?
G8.
No, G8 doesn't trap it. You should really be careful here. If you choose the right square, you're going to trap it. G8, he can run away to H6.
So I suppose H7?
Yeah, and he's trapped. Everything is covered. If your rook was defended, knight H5 would also probably work. These are the two classic ways, either hit him with the rook or with the knight. But of course, this blunders the rook here.
Yeah.
He also has queen G4, but normally that square is covered with the bishop being on an open diagonal.
Yeah, I saw that it should be possible, but I didn't even think of H7 for whatever reason.
Nice. Dude, I'm proud of you, though.
We don't resign.
Never click the resign. I'm going to give you a real talking to if you click the resign.
It briefly entered my mind, and I said no.
Just really, trust me, never resign. I'll make you a deal. I will never resign from now on in any of my games. Any of Quest of 3000. Any Quest of 3000, any Title Tuesday, Hikaru is going to be ragging on me, saying, why isn't this guy resigning? Hikaru's going to be promoting to 10 knights against me. But regardless, I'm just trying to prove a point. You should, especially you should never resign.
This game is good proof.
Never resign. Just keep attacking the queen, and sooner or later he's going to put it on a botched square. You took... Wow, he resigned.
I was thinking in theory, just like... Obviously, when he takes the bishop, it's completely fine. But if he just retreated it, and then it's fine. But like when I get like 10 free moves...
Yeah, it's
for the bishop, is that actually like fine?
It's getting better and better. No, you still should be losing, but it's getting closer. Before I would have assumed it was like +4 for him, but now it's only +2. It is the enormous advantage is starting to decrease.
Yeah.
To the point where if he gave you like another 4 free moves, then it would be okay. Because that is the thing. Normally you can count 3 free moves as 1 pawn.
Yeah.
So a piece is 9 free moves.
Okay.
So 4 free moves, you're still a bit worse, but
that's a good.
It's a good metric. I mean, it's a ballpark though.
Yeah, obviously. That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah. It really depends. If the position is more open, a piece can even be worth like 2 moves.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you might just go and just checkmate their king before they can defend themselves. Nice. Nice. Okay, and we got a game review. There's a big update.
We can't see the...
Maybe I could switch to Quest to 3000. Look at this.
And that doesn't interrupt the video?
They're going to see the black screen for a second, but look at this. Yeah, why don't we just choose this from now on? We'll just use this one.
That also works.
Yeah. Look at this. 86.4.
That's not bad.
Dude, that's fantastic. What was your rating? We're on the come up.
We're going up. Our opponent's going down. He's 1164. I playing at 850. We're 1140 playing whatever.
I think you played this game very, very well. Like, okay, you botched the opening. Don't rupture the structure. You got to remember that. Like, you need to have a very good reason to ever move this e pawn to the d file, because that's going to destroy everything. That's the integrity of your position depends on this pawn phalanx. You can sometimes push the d pawn. Actually, yeah, quite oftenly you push the d pawn, but pushing the e pawn just ruins everything.
Yep.
This was, yeah, okay, and then you're just completely winning. And then, yeah, I think just you played several moves that I would have played, which is a very good sign. Yeah, you handled this very well.
Nice.
Nice. All right. Let's go into this. Let me just check. Okay, yeah, this is fine. We're just, yeah, I think this is a better thing to do from now on because we can turn on the game review.
Thanks to Scotty D.
Yeah. Big shout out to Scotty D. E4, C6. Oh, you played a Brazilian. How could you beat him?
I showed no mercy.
Yeah. Bishop G4. Bishop G4 is fine. We did not talk about this in the Caro school. You're supposed to take. They take with the knight, and then you play knight F6.
And then you want to get the Tetris?
Yeah. And normally they're going to play d4, and you're going to be right back into the classic Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop g4 is fine, though. You know what that shows? The fact that you played a theoretical move even when you didn't know what to do. That's your chess culture, baby.
Nice.
That's overall chess knowledge seeping into filling the gaps of any lacks of opening theory.
Yeah, I could feel it.
Yeah. d4, e6, perfect. Bishop e2. Probably you should not play bishop e4. You do need to... They have a nice center here. Sooner or later, it would be ideal to get this square for your knight. Right? And
Yeah.
as long as this pawn can come here, your knight doesn't have the golden square.
So I would... I don't know what I would do. Because I was thinking...
You
The general
just
thought
take.
process was like, I want a castle.
Just take.
Yeah.
That's fine in this position. It's central pawn for central pawn.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in pretty much all the variations in the Caro, you should take here if you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Because the thing is your position up until now is just sort of schizophrenic, right? Because you want to put the knight on the golden square, but then you're going to get kicked.
Yep.
But if you push it here, if he doesn't push the pawn, then you just look like an idiot.
So I take with the pawn, he takes with the knight. I move my knight to f6.
Well, now you can't get the Tetris structure anymore, so you would need to do it a bit differently.
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
If you take with the queen, it's a little bit exposed there. There's this stuff, which is
Yeah.
annoying. There's a famous IM named Yakov Norowitz. He's, I think he's like an Orthodox Jew from Brooklyn. Cool guy. I've met him before. And he loves these structures. He's like famous for getting these structures.
It looks so ugly.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a really ugly structure. Somehow or another, he's able to play it well. But normally, it's really, really tricky. He's able to play it well though. He's super good at blitz. His nickname is Blitzkov.
That's cool.
Like instead of Yakov, it's Blitzkov. He's a really nice guy. But anyway, yeah. So we take with the pawn, and yeah, this is just super tricky. So you wouldn't do this. Instead, you could just prepare it with knight d7. You're gonna just take back with the knight.
I see.
Yeah. Bishop e3, knight f6. Yeah, this is a completely healthy structure. This is supposedly... Yeah, this is like a classic Caro structure where you've traded the e for the d pawn. You have slightly less space, but your pieces are all out. As long as your pieces are healthy, having less space is not a problem. Right? Because normally the whole issue, right, is something like this. You have less space here, and after something like this, well, obviously then both of your knights want to be on the square.
Yep.
That's an example of space going bad. So bishop e4, okay, h3. Normally you shouldn't... Actually, yeah, okay, you played this fine. Your bishop might get kicked over here, but it would still be okay there. You could also definitely take, though. Taking would also be fine, because their bishop is not going to puncture this at all.
Yeah.
You have pure cement against any bishop that ever arrives there. And in particular, actually, their bishop is really poorly placed. Their bishop would rather be over here to shoot at your king.
The general thought process I had was if they push back further with on the G file, then they're just messing up their structure. So they can't castle kingside. So it's kind of a win for me.
That's sort of true. That could be... They could do this, though. This could get a little scary.
Yeah.
You should be fine here, actually. I think you can always poke this knight out and then just take here. So your bishop is surviving, but it's tricky. It's very hit or miss. If you want to roll the dice, if you feel like going to the casino, then go for this.
I am a gambling man.
Nice. Then I think you should play bishop h5 at every possible moment. It is always a gamble. Knight e5, okay, you took. Yeah, you're pretty much never blundering anymore, except for free bishops on move 3.
Yeah. That was all part of my master plan. I knew
Yeah.
he was going to blunder his queen 5 moves later.
That's GM level thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, though, I think your play is tremendously improved. Bishop d7, knight bishop d2, you took. You could take, you could also just increase the pressure, right? We noticed that there's a lot of tension here, and you already have pressure here.
Mm-hmm.
So the GM level move is just not to relinquish any of it and just add to the... Like, just keep stirring the pressure cooker.
Yep.
If he takes, you can take back this way, and you got a nice open c file for your rook. Okay, so knight takes. This is all fine. I do like having the golden square for the knight, so your knight is going to have to settle for this.
Mm-hmm.
Your knight is completely fine here, though. Notice because these pawns are pretty much... There's no way that these pawns are ever going to avoid the tension as long as you keep this there, right? So you're always going to be able to take and clear this great square out for your knight.
Yep.
If he could push here, he should have. But then, of course, that would give your knight another good square. So yeah, okay, if he could somehow push this pawn here to cover this and get his pawn out of the way, then maybe your knight would be
That's
better.
a lot of things that need to happen, though.
Yeah. Knight a4. Yeah, do you know what that's called, by the way, when people make arguments like that?
No.
It's called hope chess.
Hope chess has come up in these discussions before.
It's very common.
Yeah.
It's very common at all levels where you start assuming your opponent is going to make bad moves so you can like paint a pretty picture in some way on the chessboard.
I understand the impulse. I often hope things happen that don't in chess.
That's too bad. Okay, so knight a4 takes. You're playing so well. I mean, like you're not making. Occasionally, you're making a move that I wouldn't, but you're never making like an outwardly bad move. You're normally making a move that might be slightly suboptimal, but still relatively good. And if you're making only like slightly inaccurate moves, and your opponents are 1100 and they're just blundering pieces,
we're going up.
Yeah, you're gonna keep going up. So knight c5. Okay, you traded queens. Probably slight mistake though, because the thing is as soon as you trade queens, it goes to an endgame, in which case his king is fine there.
Really?
Yeah.
How is his king fine there?
There are two files that are going to be closed. I guess here you should castle queenside. Well, why not castle queenside with check? You didn't want to castle with check?
I should have castled with check.
Look at that. Your king is out of the way, and then the other rook can come in.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful slide. They call this the Detroit slide.
I just don't see how the king is happy with this. Because if he retreats, then he's blocking the rook.
No, you're sort of right in this exact position, but normally, though, it's precariously based on the fact that you could poke his king out. Normally, the king on e3 would be very well placed here.
Mm-hmm.
The idea, though, is his pawn is weak. If we switched it, if this pawn was here, and he had no need to worry about a knight coming to d4, then king e2, it would be ideal for his king to be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's an endgame. There's only one open file. All the rooks are going to get traded on the d file soon.
Yeah, I get the general idea, but in this situation, it does seem like in this particular situation, the king does not seem happy there.
No, I mean, how are you going to attack it? You can only play knight f5, knight d4, and he'll play c3. The bigger issue is just, even here...
But in the meantime, like, before we get into that, I could attack the pawn and the knight, and then I have room for my rook on h to move to d.
No, so that would be okay. He could always trade the rooks. But, yeah, it's more just due to the weakness. The king itself is not actually a problem here.
Yeah.
Like, if we go back... I guess your move is completely fine here because this pawn is weak and you're just able to mobilize super quickly. But in other cases, though, I would recommend just, like, castling, for instance. Just do it. Let him exchange if he wants. Because if he castles, that's just as good. That's not as good as his king getting a free move to get out of the way. When it's an endgame, the only problem with the king being on e1 is that it's in the way of the rooks.
Yeah.
So in both cases, either you're letting him get a free move to do it, or you're making him spend a move. Okay, so takes, check. What was your plan if he got snacking?
To pretty much just give it to him, get that rook, and then I could castle kingside and get some action going.
Yeah, castling would be good here because if you take here, he plays check. This is not that easy. Your king has to go to this really ugly square.
Yeah.
To defend this.
So maybe I forget. Hopefully, my idea was actually just to castle kingside, but I don't remember exactly.
Yeah. Just next time, I think the move you missed is when you get the king out like this, look for the castle's queenside check.
Yeah,
that's
super nice.
It's a big money move. Yeah, you're gonna just check, play rook d5. This is beautiful. Okay, so you checked here. He played b4. You castled. Okay, that's good. That's fine. You could also play b6 though. Do you consider that?
I considered it. I felt like it didn't really accomplish that much.
Yeah, I mean no. Actually, I completely agree now. I completely agree with your decision because the thing is you're gonna lose a pawn one way or another. So if you push this, you're just wasting a move. Better just castle. There is a problem though. c4. Ooh. So why didn't you take here?
What did I do?
No, you made the best move, but I'm just asking you why. Why did you take here?
Let me look at the position.
You're dodging the bullets, man. You're walking the plank with courage.
Well, really, it doesn't accomplish anything. My rook is trapped there.
You're looking for reasons. You got to look for moves. Stop telling yourself stories. Of course, you're taking a pawn. It makes complete sense to take a pawn.
Yeah.
If you would take a pawn, you would have a fantastic pawn armada, but there is a problem with it.
Oh, there's a fork.
Yeah, he could get snacking. Perfect.
We're anti-snack.
Yeah. No, never make up stories just to try to answer a question.
I'm a storyteller.
You can't be telling yourself stories.
It's in my blood. I'm an artist.
Nice. Okay, yeah, rook d4. Yeah, rook d4, man. You're playing very well. You're dodging all the bullets. Rook d4, rook d1, takes. Okay, here you made a mistake. He could take here. He could take the pawn. You're not threatening anything here, right? Your rook is hanging here. You won't be able to take. You would be worse here. This is much higher level. Should we wait? This is much higher level stuff. then normally the things you're losing to though. So it's understandable that he missed this move, but yeah, you would have had to trade queen or trade everything. Objectively, you're much worse here. And again, his king is better. His king is closer to the action than yours.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You're definitely worse here. Maybe losing even because you have more weaknesses than he does, and he can also, if your knight just starts worrying about like taking all these pawns, he might just push one of these to the end zone.
Yeah.
All right. Luckily though, he missed it. He took. You took. He played there. You snapped. Perfect. Perfect. Put the knight on d5. That's a fantastic score. That is the very nice thing about having these openings where you have less space is that normally you do have these strongholds with your knight.
Yeah, I did feel that knight was awesome.
Nice. You felt it so much that you didn't want to just get a nice fork here.
I should have gotten the fork there.
What was the best move?
C3.
Yeah, exactly. You're seeing these tactics instantaneously, though. You're playing very well. This is the breakfast of champions. Okay, rook b2 is probably not best because you're losing the e4 pawn. Just throw the pawn to e3 first. This creates really nice tension. Either he has to deal with this really scary pawn or he takes and he allows another knight fork.
That is nice.
This is, like, it might not seem like much, but this is going to get very uncomfortable. If he just... I really don't know what he would do here, but if he does something like rook d3, for instance, you can check, you push him here, and now you get a skewer, and your pawn just keeps going.
That's nice.
You're going to make a queen. He can't stop it.
That would be...
It's stuck.
Yeah, that would be terrible for him.
Yeah. Yeah, e3 provides this very nice tension here. Like, knight pawn with a rook on the 7th can be a really dangerous trio. Okay, so rook b2 here. Do you play e3 now? Oh, come on. Why didn't you play e3? Look at this. This is the end of the game.
I get it. I do see it now. Now you pointed out, I see it.
You're threatening this check. You're threatening rook takes, and he can't take.
I do see it.
You understand how annoying this would be to play against this?
Yeah, I didn't see the knight fork, which I should have.
Yeah. You made a completely logical move. Like, you're playing the very solid stuff. Sooner or later, though, I mean, at this level, this is definitely play that's good enough to get you out of the 1100s, but even so, you are going to have to start finding these really killer knockout punches.
No, I do see it.
E3 is literally a knockout punch. I don't see what they would do. If they play rook e1, you can take. You're just going to keep snacking, and now this pawn, like, sooner or later, your knight is going to come in, and you're just going to keep advancing it forward.
Yeah. Before,
their rook couldn't take any pawns because it just couldn't get in, but at this point now, it's going to have to stay passive just to watch this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so h6, takes, knight d6, b5, good. Just throw the pawns forward. Nice. Knight f4, that's a sneaky move. You're a sneaky rascal there with that one. You wanted him to take, and then you wanted to get the little checkmate.
Yeah.
Here, he plays h4. Okay, here you missed.
I thought he was going to take. Yeah, no, I remember. Yes, I very much wanted him to take.
You were getting into the hope chess mindset.
Yeah.
Well, here you played b4. That's fine. You have another tactic though. We noticed that knight here attacks this and this, so you could just get snacking.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I should have done that. Oh yeah, that's the next level of tactics. First, I got the ones that obviously like.
And don't blunder the bishops.
That obviously blunder, and I got past that stage, and now I could have to actively because I could see this in a puzzle. I would probably get it, but in games, I'm not looking for them enough.
Yeah. No, and for the moment, I think you're going to get to like 15 or 1600 without having to see these, but sooner or later, there will come a time in this journey when you are going to have to see them.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, b4 is also fine. Actually, I don't know why I told you this tactic. This is like a good tactic, but you're actually keeping his rook tied down. This is a much simpler win. Just pushing this pawn forward. Takes, b3. b2, good. Okay, here you should pin him. That's the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
You could also take the knight.
I know you take that. I just did.
This was a really big botch, man.
It's still inevitable, isn't it?
It's if in this position, if he played here, this would not be easy at all to win anymore.
Yeah.
You are still winning, but it's no longer easy in the slightest.
Yeah.
Just pin him. Just push his rook away.
Yeah.
End the game. It's like literally a forced mate in one. He takes, you take back with the queen. You could even turn it into a rook. I guess it's going to force me to make a queen, but you could turn it into a rook just for
swag.
Yeah. Or turn it into a knight. Really torture the guy.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, knight d3, that was a really big... that was
daisy.
Yeah. Luckily you are still winning. I'm happy to hear you still won. King e2. Rook a1. Okay, now you did it. But yeah, just back here, just remember that if you have back rank issues, you don't even need to defend the pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're going to start seeing this, though, now. This is just another classic, like, element. This is a classic motif you might have just never seen before.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're talking about it for 3 minutes, it's going to get lodged in your noggin now, and you're going to see these things. King E2, here, takes, good. There, check. Nice, you got snacking.
It was Snack City.
Yeah, he just resigned here. Perfect. Alright, let's look at the last game. Slako Grandmaster. D3. What do you think of that move?
It's giving me center room.
Yeah, so why didn't you take the center?
I know to do that with the bird, but I have no idea what to do with the...
You gotta just take the
Caravan.
center. If they don't push a pawn to the 4th rank on move 1 with one of these,
Then we do.
then just take on the full center then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just D3, D5. Yeah, if he had played, for instance, here, it looks like this is just this classic setup here. You could just start kicking him out
Yeah.
already. Just push the knight out. So D3, C6. What you did was fine, but it just missed an opportunity to already be better. Okay. What should you do here? You can't get snacking, but you can get kicking.
Then I will go to D4.
Yeah, exactly. Just kick the knight out. If they can't go here, then there's no way your pawn would even be lost.
Yeah.
They have to go here, and you can take on the full center here with E5.
That is nice.
Why doesn't that blunder a pawn?
Because I could check and then take.
Nice, exactly. Yeah, this is a classic trick. You have an enormous center here. You should be better. Alright, so knight f3, bishop g4, h3 here, e4. You took. Nice, you took. Yeah, you're uncastling their king. This is perfect. Perfect. Dude, every single time we look at one of these moves, you just... Whenever there's a serious blow you can deal, you deal it. Nice, you just keep snacking. Keep snacking.
I'll snack all day.
Yeah. No, I mean, especially that's why I taught you the Caro, because in other openings where your center is more open, if you keep snacking, you run a risk. But because the Caro is such a solid structure, normally you can just keep snacking for a few moves.
Yeah. And I snacked.
Yeah. Like, for instance, if this was a Sicilian and the pawn was on c5 here, if they played knight e5, you could get in trouble there.
Yeah.
But because this pawn is on c6, this is concrete. They're not doing anything there.
Now his center's gone.
Yeah. Knight c3, knight d4. Yeah. You have the solid structure. He has nothing here. If this pawn were anywhere else, you would actually have some problems here.
Mm-hmm.
You would be okay, but it wouldn't be. You wouldn't just be winning here. I am noticing though you are very hesitant to push pawns into the center. I was just telling this to a student of mine. If they have no d pawn, think of the d pawn like Snorlax, and think of your e pawn like Ash Ketchum. If there's no Snorlax on the board, you can advance as far as you want.
Yeah.
There's nothing impeding your growth. If they play knight f3, you play knight d7. And you got a nice pawn in the center. You could even build the tree. And Snorlax really hates the trees.
I've never seen a Snorlax in a tree. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Takes, knight f6. Well, why not move the other piece?
I did think that after I made the move. I did realize what I did.
No, I mean, your move is okay, but if he just moves...
He doesn't take.
Oh, he might have taken my course then, because that's a GM level move what he did. Because yeah, your knight is looking really silly now.
Yeah.
Your knight is looking like a real class clown. If you would just move this knight.
I realized that after I made the move, and then I'm like thinking, how could I get my pieces out? I'm like, oh, that was a really nice place for that knight.
Yeah. Yeah, don't also just in general, this should never take priority here. This is already off the starting rank. You need to worry about the minor pieces that are still in the starting rank.
Yeah.
Knight df6, okay. If you really wanted to make your opponent laugh, you should have gone back and...
The thought did enter my mind.
Knight d5. Knight d5 is fine. Knight ce2. Okay, well now he's just being stupid. That's just wasting too much time. He needs to get his other pieces out. He can't just be running away from your knights the whole game. Castles, bishop e3. Why not play e5? Get a pawn into the... This is Snorlax.
Yeah.
But there's no... Oh, sorry, there's no d-pawn, right?
Yeah.
The d-pawn was the Snorlax, not the knight. The knight was not the Snorlax, it was the d-pawn. There's no d-pawn covering e5, so there's nothing stopping us from advancing our e-pawn to e5. I hope that made sense.
I don't know about the analogy at this point, but I understand the underlying idea.
No, if there's a d-pawn on the board, then there's Snorlax impeding your way with the e-pawn. But there's no Snorlax. This is something else. This is... What are those really crappy Pokemon? Caterpie? What was the other one? What was the one that evolves into a...
The bee?
Beedrill.
Weedle.
Yeah, this is like a Weedle. Right? No one's afraid of a Weedle.
I'm not.
Yeah. What was your favorite starter Pokemon?
I usually go with the water ones.
Nice.
So Blastoise... Pretty much I always go with the water one.
Nice. That's a good pick.
Never a grass one. Sometimes fire. Grass is the worst.
I love grass. Fire I thought was the worst.
Fire is cool. That's badass.
Yeah. I never understood why leaf was so effective on water. That never made sense to me in like the nature of the elements.
I get kind of that like it absorbs water.
But that means it needs it.
Yeah.
It's like a codependency thing.
We'll have to ask the Japanese.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments.
Any Japanese followers, let us know.
Okay, so e6. Here, bishop e4. If your bishop doesn't have anything to target here, it shouldn't go out so far. Because it's just liable to get hit. But once they push their pawn to a4, then your bishop should dig in there.
I get what you're saying, but I was thinking, like, it's so useless where it is. And if I put it... Like, where else could I put it?
You want to put it not on an open file of your opponent's. So you want your bishops like snipers, so here would be good.
Yeah.
Just hidden, out of the way. You could also Fian Shadow it. That would be very good. You could also put it here. That would be nice. Just somewhere normally, preferably not an open file where it's reinforced by a pawn. So you could go here. You could go here and then go back.
Yeah. Which is what ends up where it is without giving them the opportunity to push the pawns.
Yeah. Okay, so here, rook d1. Sooner or later, you should take here. If you can force them to take on e with f, this ruins their structure.
Yeah.
This is a weak pawn. There's fragments now. And there's also a really weak square for you to just put a knight.
Yeah.
Your knight has a new golden square.
Yep.
It's on Times Square, 42nd Street.
It's nice.
Knight f6, knight e4. How are they going to ever kick this guy out?
They never will.
No, they're never going to.
It's impossible. Not in a billion years.
Okay, so here. Nice. Takes. Perfect. Okay, wait, why did you trade this?
I don't know.
This is very uncomfortable, right? This pawn is very uncomfortable. If you can just... The knight has a stronghold on this square. Taking the knight... Which piece are you trading by taking here?
What do you mean? Which piece am I trading?
Yeah, which piece are you trading?
My bishop.
Well, for what?
A knight.
Which knight?
The knight on d4.
That's wrong. You're trading it for this knight.
Yeah.
Because look at... It's a clone.
Yeah.
The clone came to the party.
Yeah.
Which knight really left the board? It's this one.
Yeah.
Was that the one you wanted to trade?
No. Yeah, I achieved nothing.
It's the twin game.
Yeah.
It's the game of, it's the doubles game. No, you gotta play e5. Push the knight away.
Yeah.
This is a classic thing that that confuses a lot of people. If these knights are like this, and you don't like the knight that's on the champion square, do not trade it off because you're essentially just letting the bench warmer take its spot.
Yeah.
Just kick the knight out, right? Then the knights are not actually good here. It's just that they have like one good square on the board, so just kick it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then actually, this is very uncomfortable. Look at this. The knight has to go here to defend this pawn. You can just amp up the pressure with knight d5 and attack this. If they play king f2, what would your inclination be to do in this position? This is already extremely uncomfortable. Like, look at how contorted their pieces have to be to cover that pawn.
Perhaps knight to f4?
Knight f4 is a cheeky move. That might work. I think you have something better, though. Is there any way we could exploit the fact that this king might be a bit vulnerable in the f-file?
Crack it open and move the rook over there?
Yeah, I think that would be perfect. Rook f8 and f5. Play like a grandmaster. Very nice. Yeah, I think you'd just be winning here. You are... Okay, honestly, you are up 2 pawns, so we're sort of splitting hairs because you are... I'm talking about mistakes that are normally relevant at like an 1800 level.
Yeah.
So...
That's still good to talk about. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
It makes sense that you're going to win, though. No, and I mean, the idea is that this is why... Because we continue to focus on these things, that's why you're continuing to find these positionally great moves. I would venture that you're probably the best positional player at the 1100 range on chess.com because... Like, you're just playing worlds above other people in terms of the moves you're finding.
Nice.
G6, knight e4, f5, takes, rook g8, nice with the pin. Perfect. Perfect.
We got him.
I want to see your accuracy here. Let's see it.
Oh, it's not that
Dude,
good.
that's amazing. No, it's 80.
Oh, I was looking at the 72. Yeah.
That's good.
1550.
You're
That's
gonna-
a lot higher. That's 400. That's a lot higher than what I am.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on the come up. Dude, are you 1193?
That was because that's the first game.
Oh, that was your opponent's rating.
Oh yeah. I think I was like 1090 at the start.
This is amazing though. So yeah, we do have to finish now. I have a lesson in a few minutes, but yeah, this is fantastic. Just literally keep doing tactics. Have you been doing your tactics?
Yes.
Are you doing it from the book or on chess.com?
Do you want the honest answer?
I want the answer that I would like to hear.
I'm doing the book.
Okay, what's the honest answer?
I've been doing chess.com.
Please do the book.
I'll do the book.
Because the thing is on chess.com, you understand that in real games, you're not allowed to take back moves. So if you think you see a tactic, but it's wrong, I
get the whole thing. I get how the book is better, but like,
it's just
I could just play the
so much
puzzle
more
in my
convenient.
bed before I go to sleep on my phone.
If it's tactics on chess.com or no tactics, definitely do the tactics on chess.com, but try to also do the book.
No, I agree. I'm not arguing.
Also, you're getting to a point where your level is getting to the point where the tactics books are perfect.
Yeah.
Because those are like moves in 3 and moves in 4.
Yep.
Nice.
I could do it.
You're on the come up.
That's
You're
right.
gonna get there.
That's right.
Nice.
We'll see you guys later.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.